Hey everyone, we're in day 4 of the season, and today we did open up 5 ER finally, so getting that better deck layout, and now we can try it a few hits. And we did also max out GBE, so we have 160, some more to deal with, and hopefully it works out. Now on these 5 ERs, I found this is a kind of stable method, taking 1 mech, 2 Zooks, 5 career cannons. Now some people have been wondering about some bugs in the left ramp, like they drop career cannons and they still don't shoot. There are some small nuances you can learn about, but for most 5ERs, and I think pretty much everyone, we're just going to go from the right side. So one easy way to avoid the left ramp bugs is don't drop in the left ramp. So on these 5s, what we're going to do is mainly just choose a few buildings to flare. As soon as we get some critters on this side, we can go on the further sides, and as long as we have a bunch of them, then the hit should kind of move smoothly. So I like doing the mech on the right side and everyone else slightly to the left. So we'll do that now. 1 mech, everyone right here. Get a serum going early. Again, a bit higher to kind of get the mechs and critter launchers. And you don't have to flare too early, just kind of let them go for a bit. Let the full serum have its 10 seconds. And then let's do it one more time. You don't even have to flare just yet because you already have critter cannons going on that side. And as we get a few critters, we choose one building on the right side of flare and get one more serum. Any building on the right works, but I usually like doing, let's say, that mortar or boom cannon maybe. And even just do more buildings. Buildings are better because you already have so many critters, and the more they spread out, the faster the hit's gonna go. So then you go for this last ER and pretty soon get a serum going. We'll do it once the critters kind of die to those mines, so get a few right there. And maybe not a super fast time, but I think anywhere around 305 to 315 should be good against 5ERs. So on this one here, looks like a win. And we can show that base one more time too, since it's a pretty standard layout on 5ERs. So again, before we have clone rifles, I like doing 1 mech kind of on the right side, then 2 Zooks and 5 career cannons. So they kind of go along this side, and some of the career cannons naturally start hitting that ER. You want to wait until some critters not only land to clear the mines, but also enough that you know that ER is kind of good to go. You don't have to wait until it goes down because the critters just get the job done. Remember, they don't follow flares. The main thing after is choosing a few important buildings on the right side that you can flare to get a good split. So I like doing something in this corner. So could be that cannon, maybe this rocket, boom cannon, but it really depends on different kinds of bases. Maybe you can try different buildings, and every base is a little different. Because that way, you have the Zookas hopefully clearing some shock mines, career cannons also moving that way. And as you have more troops, you want to flare a building, let's see on this side. So it could be that cannon, shock launcher, because then as soon as more critters land in that area, they can spread in all directions, and you really want the critters to take care of these engines. So then you can do the last 2 flares, which is one in this ER and one in the last one. As soon as you see some critters, you go for the last engine and do a bunch of serums. So on most 5ERs, especially with this layout, that's really the main idea. Choosing important buildings to flare, and of course managing GBE with serum. And here we got another 5ER, this one also with mines, so right now it's a bit annoying because Zookas die one shot to mines. So maybe also using some shields to keep them alive. But really, we're going to try the same kind of hit. So drop the mech on the right side, career cannons here. We'll let them clear a bit, maybe onto, let's say, these buildings right here. And if no one goes on the right ER, we can do a quick flare to make sure some critters are on it. And otherwise, I think we can go ahead and flare, let's say, this boom cannon, then this one, and maybe just go like that. Usually you want to shock at least one shock launcher, especially early on. So we'll find out. Doing 1 mech on the right, everyone else on this side, and then get a serum going. We did miss a mech, but don't always need it, especially if it gets serum later on. So keep everyone going, let's get one more serum, and kind of hoping some career cannons go on the right side naturally. get a shock in that shock launcher, and then waiting just a few seconds, we got more stuff, so now we can flare that boom cannon. Again, we're gonna do a shield to try to keep a few Zooks alive, and then get some more serums. As we get a bunch of those critters, we can start flaring the last few ERs. Get this shock launcher taken care of, and maybe after just a few more, we can flare this last one. Really want some GB for one more serum, but maybe get it in just a few seconds. And it's good that we do it here because not only do you get the critter cannons, but also speed up those critters for that engine. So this one here, getting 3 minutes flat. You can't be so fast when you don't have clone rifles, but again, right now, it's okay to win. And once we do get clones, it should really help out because they're almost like mini critters, but right away on the map. Especially when the clones die, they don't follow flares, so they do a ton of damage, and especially under speed serum. We finally have a base without mines, so it should help out. And still doing the mech on the right side, because even if they hit the shock mines, it's pretty good because, well, as long as critter cannons don't hit them, then that's all that matters. So one mech on the right, everyone else over on this side, and get a serum going pretty early. Here we're gonna still just wait a few seconds, and then get one more serum going. Got a few critter cannons hitting shock mines, but it's not too bad. Again, we'll go ahead and shock that shock launcher, keep on going along this side. And you do want to try to aim serums, so you try to hit both Zookas, critters, and critter cannons. But going over here, seruming one more time. And the funny thing is, when there's more buildings like here with machine guns, it's actually a little faster. You just get so much more GB, which really helps out. Of course, no mines also do, but even with machine guns, we get a 310. You also didn't have building health, so that also made a little difference. But on this one here, getting that win. And we did say in the last video that maybe we're gonna go for normal critters next, but we might change our mind on that. Because we've seen a lot of hits where, even without critters, you can get some fast times, as long as you get some more troop health and more GB. So I think not only are we gonna get clone rifles and machine guns next, but maybe take that bottom path later will show at 5 ER, at least skipping critters for now. But this one here has a lot of machine guns and some mines, so maybe watch out a bit. But still the same kind of hit. One mech on the right, 2 Zooks, a bunch of critter cannons, get that serum right away. And here we can spread out a little bit. At some point we're gonna flare, let's say, that mortar, and then maybe some buildings on that side. So let's get one more serum here, get a bunch of critters out there, and maybe wait a few seconds, now start flaring. We'll get one shield, especially because there's a bunch of mines. And we're gonna choose to go ahead and flare that machine gun right there. We'll get one more shield going, got like a million critters to do one more serum. And here you just wanna let them go a little bit, because the more critters that are coming out, then they're just gonna clear all those buildings. So get a bunch for this ER, and you can see because there's more machine guns, it's almost faster because you just have so much more GB. So this one pulling a 307, only a few thousand critters. And we can check out what he's doing. Looks like a Rainmaker critter cannon hit. And at least the Rainmakers here can reach that ER. Which I've noticed some people do, but I think it's just easier and honestly a bit faster going everyone from the right side. But our 307 getting that win. And how are you guys liking this new 5 ER meta? Hopefully it's a bit more fun than 4 ER. I think it is with a bunch of critter cannons and just flaring everywhere. Here we got another base with mines and we can still try the same kind of hit. I like the mech too because, well, it's something like a mortar here, mechs don't really care about. So one on that side, everyone else on the left, and get a serum going. So we will wait a bit, maybe let them naturally clear. Because again, you know at some point that the critter cannons should reach the right buildings. Maybe a few are gonna hit the shock mine, but not too many. And now we can start flaring some other buildings. So we'll go for that sniper tower first, and once that's down, maybe we can go for that mortar. Since this space does have mines, we can do a shield kinda randomly on just, a bunch of critters and Zookas. But especially this serum, I want them to clear just a bit. Because the more critters you have, of course, then it's gonna be a bit better. Then we'll get one more serum, and then flare the last ER. Luckily we got a bunch of critter cannons, and sometimes you can do a shield on the left too, just to help that side a bit. But both ERs dying around the same time and getting that 303. So is it fast enough? And just a few seconds, but looks like it is. So 5-year alone was a good push, just enough getting us to 19. And that does give us clone rifles, which we are gonna max out right away because, well, they look cool. But also because they're the only other troop now that doesn't need GBE to drop. It's like your own mini critters just right away on deck. So tomorrow we can find out some cool clone rifle hits, but the next step is also getting machine guns. And after some thinking, we're not going to go to the top multi-node and these critters. Instead, we're going to get this bottom troop health, then building damage, and then some GBE. I think either way works fine, but it might be even easier hits too, because if you don't have to worry about throwing your own critters, then you can have more focus on throwing serums and your flare's good. But let me know what you think, if you're going to get critters or not. And that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.